Hello world, this is Wolfstar Games, and welcome back to more Robotics No Elite. Last time, it was Akiho's turn to find her own resolve after getting more exposition, and she found her own blast of spirit, which I'm really glad. It's like it was about time. She had been brooding far too long, so I'm glad she's back to her normal, optimistic self. Also, when I was editing last episode, and I was thinking about how we could get rid of Kimijima, and when I was thinking about it, I was like, well, we have a programmer on our side, with Frau. So I was thinking, couldn't she go in to IRUO and delete Kimijima's memories, delete the data? Or would she have to delete IRUO itself? The only thing I'm not sure of is which would be their best route to take. I feel that completely deleting IRUO would be their safest and best bet. Unless, for some whatever reason, Kimijima can hop to different apps on the phone droid. Kind of a la the movie Shocker, the horror movie. I mean, the villain in that can, body jump and jump to different TV shows. I mean, it's an old horror movie, but it's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite Wes Craven movies. Unless Kimijima can do that, I'd say just completely deleting IRUO. That said, I feel that the biggest, I feel like our biggest threat is Misane. I mean, she's flesh and blood. Kimijima is an AR. So I feel like getting rid of Kimijima would be fairly easy enough. Dealing with Misane, on the other hand, would be a harder and more difficult task. So that's where I'm at with trying to think my way through of how this is going to end, possibly. But anyway, we'll get back to what is going down with Subaru. It's a live broadcast. Okay, so it's not an IRUO. This is actually like a news broadcast. The video just suddenly started playing on Nagafkada's Twipo account. Oh. Michi was awfully quick to think of that. Good on Michi. Former club president Senomiya-senpai is passionately yelling somewhere dark. Yashio-senpai is holding her hand. Who are they talking to? What are they talking about? Of course, Subaru can't see who they're talking to. I don't know the details. But what I do know...
夢が詰まったロボット。
Yeah. You still have those hopes and dreams, don't you, Subaru?
正義のロボットが世界を救う。
Such a simplistic view of good and evil sounds exactly like the super robot anime that Senomiya-senpai enjoys. As far as I'm concerned, those stories are too childish. They lack appeal. So why? What's this strange feeling welling up in my chest? Why are there tears in my eyes? Like, Akiho's speech got to him. My gaze is naturally drawn to the cardboard box in the corner of my room. My leg is in a cast, so I basically have to crawl to the box. I open the lid and take a look inside. It's there that I find the wreckage of my old partner, who's been broken for half a year now. M45. At least he didn't throw him out. It was 10 years ago when I saw Senomiya Mizaki, a high schooler at the time, at Robo 1. I became fascinated with robots. That fascination is what brought me to M45. I pick up one of the parts. I gently wrap its cold sensation in the palm of my hand. Like he longs to have that feeling of that feeling of connection towards a robot again. Whatever he does, I just hope that his accident doesn't deter him so much from his dreams. The memories come flooding back. When I was in elementary school, at a small toy shop, I had a small RC toy bought for me. After watching Robo 1, I desperately wanted a robot of my own. Of course, there were no bipedal RC robot toys back then, so I got an animal type with 4 legs. Naturally, it was my dad who bought it for me. So even though that his dad has no interest in robots, he still bought his son a little robot toy. Maybe Hiromu isn't as bad as I thought. I remember what he said to me that day.
ちゃんと自分で責任を持って組み立てるんだぞ。
As if this little robot was a pet.
それと絶対に途中で投げ出すな。
Huh.
まあ頭のいいスバルならこんなのすぐ組み立てられるだろう。僕は
It's like Hiromu isn't as bad as a guy as he has been made out to be for the majority of this game, even though that we haven't really had much screen time with him. It's like just when I thought that I had a very clear-cut view of Hiromu, the game throws a wrench into my perception of him. And now my perception of him is that of actually a good father who does care about his son and is trying to raise his son the best way he knows how. I look at my left leg. It's held in place by a hard cast. During surgery, I had multiple bolts inserted into it. Ooh, bolts? Boy, that's some major surgery then. If I don't take painkillers, the intense pain keeps me from sleeping.
僕はそれでも
When I take another look deep inside my heart, the answer comes immediately. No, I already had the answer. This entire month, ever since I broke my leg, I've just been thinking the whole time, what about? And after hearing Senomiya-senpai spill her soul, well, I can't possibly sit here any longer. It's like, get off of that little bony butt of yours and try and do something, Subaru. Instead of... I imagine he's been kind of moping around a little bit, but he can't mope around forever. Even though that he's injured, I'm pretty sure there's some way that he can help. I put on a change of clothes and exit my room with crutches in hand. Dad is in the living room. How's his dad gonna react? He's staring out at the darkness through the window. He said he saw a swarm of robots during the day at sea, so he must still be worried about it.
どこへ行く
Just hearing his voice makes my body tremble. Dad has always been a massive wall that I could never overcome. Even when he was a child, I have all the respect in the world for him. It's like, of course he does. And I'm serious about inheriting his work. He is. Okay. However,
部活へ
at least he's being truthful and not lying. Going behind his father's back again. I barely managed to squeeze out the words without stuttering.
部活へ行ってくる
I look Dad straight in the eyes. And I make my intentions clear. I'm still a member of the Robot Club. Even though at the start of it, he was reluctant.
気づいたんだよ
Realized that he could help in some way.
僕はロボットを作るのが好きだ
Not to mention that.
今までずっとその気持ちと向き合うのを避けてきたいつもそれはいけないことだって自重してきたでもやっぱり僕は子供の頃からずっと好きなんだ
It's like every member of the Robot Club now is gonna make a stand, aren't they? It's like first Kaito, then Akiho, and now Subaru. Are we also gonna get the same thing with Juna and Frau?
この気持ちを大切にしたいんだ
それでまた大怪我をしたらどうするしかもこんな時にこんな時間にこんな天気で出ていくだとお前は親の気持ちを何だと思ってるんだ
It's like he's following his heart. It's like Subaru's following his heart. And I know Hiromu loves his son and is trying to raise him the best he knows how. But, you know, sometimes you just have to hear out your kids.
父さんが心配してくれてるのは嬉しいよ。それを裏切ってきた自分も恥ずかしく思う。でも今じゃないとダメなんだ。今僕が仲間にできることがある。もう悔いを残したくない。自分で責任を持って最後まで組み立てたいから。
So the little robot toy that he had gotten as a kid, did he ever finish building that one? Or no? Or, I mean, I want to say that he didn't, and that's why he's saying this with the Gun Build 1 now. So, I mean, this is Subaru finally taking responsibility and finishing building a robot. So it's like Subaru is keeping his promise to his father from so long ago. If Hiromu can't see that, then my perception of him may switch back.
絶対に途中で投げ出したくないから。これが僕の夢だから。だからごめん父さん。僕行かないと。
勝手にしろ。
He spits out his reply and withdraws into his own room. So he sounded angry and disappointed. I was prepared to get socked once or twice, so his response leaves me a bit shocked. I bow my head, put on a raincoat, and leave the house. I didn't encounter a single person or car on the way to the old airport. Going to Frau? The island is essentially under martial law right now. Or is he just going to where Gun Build 1 is? Rumors that armed terrorists have taken over the Tanegashima Space Center have spread around the whole island already. I've heard that everyone from Mitanecho has been evacuated to my high school. But there's nobody at the old airport located next door. Just a locked hangar. And prototype Model 1 sleeping inside of it. Or at least, that's what I thought. Is he not in there?
Hidaka-kun?
Juna! So I take it she just got here. The hangar door is open. And from inside, I hear a familiar voice.
大徳先輩。
私、Akihoちゃんの動画を見て。
I figured she did. And that's why she came here herself. Just like Subaru. It's like, how are you doing, Juna? It's like, I know she's been absolutely distraught herself. So it's like, I really wonder how she's doing.
私ここに来ちゃいけないって思ってた。今でも思ってる。
Oh.
でもあきほちゃんのあの言葉聞いちゃったら。
Like you decided to make your own stand?
なんだかいても立ってもいられなくて。
僕もあれを聞いてここに来た口です。
1号機くん、組み立て直すんだよね。あきほちゃんがそう言ってた。ごめんなさい。
No need to say sorry.
私今日まで一度も日高くんにちゃんと謝れてなかった。本当にごめんなさい。
Aw, Juna.
私のせいでロボ部は終わっちゃったけど。
No, it isn't.
でもそんなの嫌だった。どうしても嫌だったの。
You're breaking my heart again, Juna. Stop it.
私がね、日高くんに怪我をさせた私がこんなこと言う資格ないかもしれないけど、でも私は入れなくてもいいから、あきほちゃんとヤシオくんと日高くんと幸次郎さんでロボ部を続けてもらいたくて。
It's like continue the robot club. Finish things. It's like bring the robot club back. Just for this moment.
それを言うためにここに。
Daituko-senpai starts shaking her head left and right. She had been trying to hold back tears this entire time, but she's given up. The big teardrops are already gushing from her eyes. Aww. It's like, say something, Subaru. Say something of comfort to her.
違うよ、そうじゃないの。私もロボ部続けたい。
It's like this is her stand. Continue the robot club. See things through.
みんなとまた一緒にロボット作りたいの。
Daituko-senpai wails loudly. Her face is a total mess. Even then, she doesn't try to wipe away the tears. She simply falls to her knees. Aww.
先輩？
こんなことで許してもらえるとは思ってないけど、どうせ役立たずだし戦力にもならないけど、それでも。
Daituko-senpai gets on her hands and knees and puts her head down. It's like she's down on her hands and knees, deeply, deeply sorry. It's like apologizing profusely to Subaru when she doesn't really need to. It's like, it's not her fault. It was never her fault.
もう一度頑張りたい。みんなのおかげでできた新しいこの夢を終わらせたくない。
Good. Good. I'm glad.
お願い、日高くん。
It's like, get up, Juna, please. Ugh.
勝手な言い分だって分かってるけど。
No, you're not. You're definitely not being selfish. It's like Juna has such a pure, caring heart. And I mean, that's why she's always so emotional. So it's like, I can understand how she feels, but at the same time, it's like a lot of this is unneeded.
許して。私にも手伝わせて。
It's like, of course, Juna, of course.
お願いします。
It's like, you don't really have to beg, Juna. Say something, Subaru. The sound of the rain outside echoes loudly through the hangar. I don't think I've ever been here at night. I let out a sigh.
手は差し伸べませんよ。
It's like, why does he say that exactly?
何しろ片足が折れてますんでね。
Wait. Since his leg is broken, he can't effectively work on a gun build 2. But he can, walk through and talk through how to fix him up if Juna is fixing him.
自分で顔を上げてさっさと立ってください。大徳先輩には謝ってる暇はないんです。僕はこの足ですからまともに動けません。代わりに先輩に僕の分まで働いてもらいます。それでチャラにします。
日高くん。ありがとう。ありがとう。
先輩女子を土下座させ奴隷となることを強要する性的な意味で。
Oh my god, bro. Of course, Frau walks in at the most, kind of in the most inopportune time. And of course she would take it this way. That's Frau for you.
それなんてエロゲ。
See a bright light, jeez. I'm suddenly assailed by a bright light. Ah. What is that, a headlight?
誰だ
It's like, can you not tell by the voice? It's the light of a flashlight. Okay, it's a flashlight, not a headlight. Two figures appear. Frau and Nai, because Nai just rescued Frau.
これからメガネのことを鬼畜メガネと呼ぶ。異論は認めない。
Fiendish four eyes, alright.
誰が鬼畜メガネだ
I love how flustered Subaru gets around Frau. He's always on his toes whenever Frau is around.
大徳先輩、ほら、早く立ってください。変な誤解をされちゃうでしょうが。
Stand up, please. Misunderstanding.
ごめん。
It's like, stop saying sorry. Seriously, come on. Daitaku-senpai stands straight up, and then staggers a little. She falls over toward me. Catch her, if you can. This is bad. If she falls on me, I won't be able to hold her up. Actually, my leg could be in serious trouble. But I have no escape route. Just when I come to expect the worst, Tennoji-san dashes between us and holds up Daitaku-senpai. It's like, Naya's gotten quick on her feet.
大丈夫ですか？すみません。
Is it just me, or was she insanely fast just now? Yet here she is, smiling as usual.
スバルくんとジュンナちゃん、それにコナちゃん。元ロボ部メンバー勢ぞろいですね。
Yeah.
元じゃありません。
Regardless, you're all here.
現ロボ部ですよ。
いいです。すごくいいです。青春って感じですね。素敵です。皆さん、アキホちゃんの熱い演説を聞いてここに来たんですよね。
I mentioned a while back that I had decided to start playing Steins Gate, My Destiny's Embrace. And, playing through that, Nai is, of course, younger in that game. Her usual age in the Steins Gate games, which I think, if I remember correctly, is like 11? I think I have that right. And with some of the things that, like, Okabe says about Nai, I just wonder how he thinks of Nai all grown up with her being in this game. It's like, if Okabe were to show up, it's like, how would he interact with Nai in Robotics notes? I just really wonder that. Judah, that expression, that happily determined expression of hers, I love it. Daitaku-senpai and I both nod. As for Furugori,
あんなん演説と呼べるもんじゃなくね。
It's like, Frow's like, I am not impressed.
熱い演説ってのは例えば諸君、私は戦争が好きだみたいな、そういうのを指すんだっつうの、上皇。
Gentlemen, I love war? What? It's like, I'm confused by that.
だが部長先輩のもなかなか良かった。これはガチ。
Yes, she did. She's muttering to herself.
だったら皆さんやることは一つのはず。
Yes. We got to really get working on Gunbill 2 here. Fix them all up for what we need him to do. A familiar truck with a crane comes driving up to the hangar with perfect timing. Doc? The robot doctor? I assume that everyone who has a phone droid saw that broadcast. And out from the driver's seat.
Oh, 揃ってんな。
Yes, we are, as well as you, Doc. It's Doc. He acts like he expected us to be together. I mean, he assumed right.
始めるぜ。これから24時間が勝負だ。一睡もしてる余裕はねえからな。気合い入れてけ。
Yes, let's do this. No sleeping on the job. Without explaining a single thing, he dives right into barking orders.
藤田さんロックですね。
Yes, he is. Nah, yes, he is.
いや。
What do you mean, nah? Huh? What do you mean, nah, Doc?
ロックなのは秋穂さ。
That is a great compliment. I'm sure Akiho would appreciate that coming from Doc.
ありゃ大した玉だよ。
Yes, so to speak. We don't need further instructions. There are only 5 of us here. But we're all thinking the same thing. We glance at prototype Model 1 lying quietly in the darkness. Prez, Yashio-senpai. We'll do everything in our power to get him up and running. That's awesome. We'll be waiting for you both to come back. Sounds good. Back to this. The clear sound of applause echoes across the dark runway. I take it I still can't take out my phone? No, actually I can. Of course, Kimijima is still there. Now I can get Aidi's geotag. Born September 27th, 1995. Age 25, but she still looks, what was it, 14 if I remember correctly? Blood type AB. I know blood type is like a big thing, and knowing people's blood type is a big thing in Japan. I don't know why though. Oh. Well, I'm glad I took out my phone droid before it switched to IRUO by itself. Without breaking his smile, Kimijima Ko claps his hands, gun still drawn on Airi. This is his response to Akiho's courageous declaration. Oh boy.
つまり君たちはこう言いたいわけだ。自分たちの手でお姉さんを殺してやると。
No. No, they're not. They're saying that they'll beat her, not kill her. That's a fine distinction.
なかなか素直だね。そういうのは好きだよ。世の中には本音を隠して適当な建前を言う人間ばかりだからね。でもそうか。残念だよ。世界を救うために親しい人をあえて殺す道を選ぶなんて。
I mean, it's a moral question for sure. Choosing either to kill a loved one in order to save the world or not. It's like, what would you do if you were in this situation? That's a very hard decision to make. And, you know, seeing that it's Akiho's sister, I strongly believe that Akiho would do her best to beat Misane, but not kill her. It's like, Akiho is not that person. And you could argue that Misane was also the same, yet she killed Kimijima. But we're dealing with two different people here. It's like, when push comes to shove, the nicest, sweetest person could wind up killing someone. Much how Misane did. But it's another thing to kill a loved one. It's like Misane didn't really know Kimijima. And actually, I have been wondering this whole time of how Misane and Kimijima actually met, for that matter. It's like that. I hope that gets answered. It's like, how exactly did they meet? But anyway, with Akiho, with this dilemma of, you know, choosing to kill Misane or not, I strongly believe that Akiho, as well as Kaito, will not kill her.
勇敢ではあるが、君たちは本当に野蛮で残酷だ。
Kimijima Ko scoffs at us. He once again places his hand over Aides, the one holding the gun. I don't like how the music has changed here. It's like don't make Aidi pull the trigger, Kimijima, you bastard. It's like, that's also the last thing I don't want, is for Kimijima to make Aidi pull the trigger and kill herself. Aidi's finger is already on the trigger. The muzzle is still pressed against her temple.
だったら、手始めに君たちがそういう選択をしたことでどういう結果がもたらされるのか、一つ事例を示してみようか。
No. No, no, no!
入りを話せ。その人は無関係だろ。
無関係？いや、そんなことはないよ。
I mean, before Misane came along, Airi came along in Kimijima's life.
今の今まで彼女は僕の人質だった。
Hostage. I don't like the way that he's put that. I mean, hostage? No. I mean, yeah, he had her in a cryogenic pod to help her disease. I mean, was that also his way of keeping her hostage? I mean, I guess it was. But still, he also, like, helped her.
そして今は君たちが見捨てた人質だ。
I didn't abandon her.
やめて。
君たちが選んだんだよ。残酷な君たちが世界を救おうとするその意志と引き換えにした命だ。
Oh, I almost forgot. You know, one of the things that went through my head when I was editing was when Airi was taken out of the hospital. That couldn't have been Kimijima that actually got her out of the hospital, seeing that he's only an AR annotation now. It had to have been Misane. Then again, we heard Kimijima's laugh. It's kind of a misdirection of who took Airi out of the hospital, but it had to have been Misane. It's like, but Kimijima was, you know, pulling her strings, of course. You know, making her take Airi out of the hospital.
やめろ。
だから僕はこの女を容赦なく殺すよ。君たちが種子島に来て美咲と戦おうとするならどういう結末が待っているか、それをしっかりと理解してもらうためにもね。
I'm like on the edge of my flipping seat.
君たちも決して目をそらしてはいけない。
Yet I want to.
見届けるんだ。君たちが見捨てた命の最後を。
Even from this distance, I can tell the finger that Airi has on the trigger has begun to tense up.
よせ。
It's like, how can we stop him from Airi, from him making Airi pull the trigger? If she squeezes any further, Airi's gonna die.
せっかく10年ぶりに目覚めたっていうのに。恨むなら世界の救世主になりたがっている彼らを恨むといいよ。
It's like, why would she resent that? It's like, she should resent Kimijima for putting her through this crap.
さようなら、アイリ。
No, 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 no.
よせ。ボインちゃん。
Dato? Right. Is he gonna... Dato to the rescue? Suddenly, a rainbow-colored bullet with an annoying voice... rainbow-colored bullet. With an annoying voice zips across my field of vision. Oh my god. Tato actually becoming useful? That bullet flies directly at Airi. It snatches the gun from her hand and soars high into the air. Oh, God. Oh, thank God for small favors. Oh, God. I was so tense. What? Not Boy-chan, okay.
でかしたぞ太郎
It's like, you did good, Tato. It's like characters keep surprising me.
おじきのインコか
This is crazy. Aidi's life was in the hands of that bird? Of all things? My God. What would have happened if he screwed up? I don't want to think about that. I internally curse up a storm while dashing toward Aidi. As if her strings had been cut, Aidi collapses to the floor. Ground. Powerless. She looks like she's been freed from Kimijima Ko's curse. Curse. Oh, wait a minute. When we were from Misane's perspective, in her father's office, she mentioned something along the lines of, like, being possessed. That's what that is, isn't it? Kimijima's curse of being completely controlled and manipulated by him. By his AR. That makes a lot more sense now. I hurriedly pick Aidi up. Oh, thank God. Her body is shockingly light.
君島孔明消えやがった
He's gonna be back, though. Michi is using his phone droid to look around, trying to find him. Did Kimijima Ko really withdraw? For now? I doubt it. He must be waiting for us on Tanegashima.
今のうちに出発しよう
Yes, let's do that. We all nod in response to Akiho's suggestion. I rush into the plane with Aidi on my back. Little piggyback ride. The sexual harassment parakeet also comes flying in, handgun in its claws. I'd say that he's evolved from sexual harassment parakeet to hero parakeet. You've done good, Tato. After checking to make sure everyone's on board, we stow the ramp. It's like Tato wound up being the hero that we all needed in that moment. Which was kind of completely out of left field, but I'm glad that happened. Oh my God. I really was on the edge of my seat that whole time. With the door closed and locked tight, I shout toward the cockpit.
父さん出して
The propellers start spinning, slowly at first, and gradually gain speed. I sit Aidi down in a seat and fasten the seatbelt. It's like she's gonna be okay, thank God. The aircraft starts to slowly bust toward the runway. After making sure Aidi is secure, I plant myself next to Akiho. I fasten my seatbelt, take a deep breath, and Akiho puts her hand over mine. Her hand is shaking like crazy.
カイ
Yes, Akiho? She says my name, but immediately hangs her head low. What's wrong?
勘つく案に乗って
Akiho's tearing up again. She's doing everything in her power not to start crying. Our fingers intertwine and she grips onto my hand tightly. Her nails are digging into me. It hurts, but I can deal with it.
勘つく案でお姉ちゃんを倒してお願い
任せなよ
Yeah. But it's like, we got this. Not just Kaito, we got this. Kaito and Akiho. And the rest of the Robot Club.
俺は最初からそのつもりさ
Good. Good.
離陸の準備が整いましたので、これより出発いたします。
Shigami. Shigami. That's his father's name.
JAC 特別便、午後9時23分発、種子島直行便です。
It's honestly a little hard to hear him. It's like the noises of the plane is kind of overpowering his voice.
緊急時につき、飛行計画は出していないため、予期せぬ急上昇、急降下、進路変更などあるかもしれませんが、どうかご心配なく。必ず皆さんを種子島に送り届けます。
Good. It's like, thanks, Dad.
短い間ですが、空の旅をどうぞお楽しみください。
Thank you.
それと、カイト、私はお前のことを誇りに思う。
It's like, thank you, Tosan.
アキちゃんとミサちゃんのことよろしく頼むぞ。
It's like, I will. Kaito will.
ああ分かってる
The engine starts to roar. The plane suddenly accelerates. I can feel the G-force on my entire body. The plane's frame inclines diagonally, and the ground outside the window slowly grows distant. Farewell, Tokyo. I'll see you again, I'm sure. But now it's the time to head home. Even if there's a war waiting for us there. Yes. It's time that we return to the island where we were born. Phase 12, Heliosphere Connector. Oh boy. The aircraft approaches the skies above Tanegashima. Apparently this aircraft model has a maximum flight range of about 1,700 kilometers. It's a propeller plane, so I thought its range would be shorter, but it was actually more than enough. I figured we'd be landing at the new Tanegashima airport, but Dad announced that we're headed for the old one. Oh. So he knows exactly where he needs to go then. To where Gunbuild 2 is. Or not 2, Gunbuild 1. We're on approach right now. I guess it makes more sense for us to land here. But the old airport's runway hasn't been used in over 10 years. Plus, there are no guidance lights, and due to rain, the visibility is poor right now. I told him that he didn't have to push himself so far. But according to Dad, there's been no response from the new airport's control tower. It's possible that something happened there. The decision to land at the old airport was made with that in consideration. Huh. Alright. Well, it's not like my opinion really matters here. I should leave this one to the pros. As the plane prepares to land, we all sit down and buckle up. After Airi woke up, Akiho changed seats and is now sitting next to her, holding her hand to give her some peace of mind. Aww. Akiho being like a big sister here. It's almost dawn. Tanegashima is covered in a shroud of darkness from up here, but it doesn't look like the power's out. In fact, despite it being before dawn, there are lights on inside quite a number of houses. Misane, are you down there? She's down there somewhere. Probably at TNSC.
全員衝撃に備えてください。
Yeah, okay, I'm bracing myself. Let's go. Outside the window, the ground is already drawing near. When landing at the old Tanegashima airport, you pass right over Nakatane-cho. I can very clearly see the lights on inside of a bunch of houses. Dad is estimating the position of the runway using only those lights. If we crashed in the middle of town, it'd be a huge disaster. No, I gotta trust him. It's like trusting your dad. It's like, definitely as a pilot. It's like, he knows what he's doing. I believe in Dad and his skills. It's then that the frame of the plane suddenly drops. Oop. Despite wearing my seatbelt, my body floats up and I nearly hit my head on the ceiling. Ow. It's like, don't say that, Michi. Yep, that sure is the roof of our school getting real close. I'm sure we won't crash. The aircraft barely scrapes by over it.
悪いお知らせです。
Don't tell me that.
どうやら故障でランディングギアが出ないようです。
Oh no. Okay, so one of us needs to get the landing gear to extend then.
Huh?
You've got to be kidding me.
ですがご安心を。
And why shouldn't I worry exactly?
私は必ず皆さんを種子島に送り届けると約束したはずです。約束は守る。それが空の男というものです。
Is now the time to be acting cool? Like, come on, it's your dad. Trust him.
茂みおじさん、頑張れ！
It's like, thank you, Akiho. It's like, he's got this, yes. It's like, he can do it.
おう、種がしまった魂見せたれ！
よろしく頼むよ、父さん。
頭を下にして丸くなってください。これより胴体着陸します。
Belly landing. That's gonna scrape up the plane. An immense impact comes up from under my feet. Things are really shaking up here. The intense sound of metal scraping against pavement echoes throughout the cabin. If we overshoot the runway, there's nothing but a cliff at the end waiting for us. Will we stop in time? I sure hope so.
止まれ！止まれ！あっ！
The shaking stops. The engine also stops, and the inside of the plane is blanketed in silence.
当機は予定より4分遅れで、旧種子島空港に到着しました。
I hope Akiho is alright, especially seeing how she reacted to Michi's driving.
おじゃりもせ、種子島へようこそ。
Thank you, Dad. Jeez, you're out of your mind, Dad. You could say the same thing with Michi with how he was driving to the airport. And stop trying to act cool.
みんな早く外に脱出しよう。
The thing could very well explode at any minute. We disembark and make a dash for the hangar. Oh, and I have a bunch of Tweepo messages. Mama isn't a murderer. That's all I can say. Like, I'm right with you, Frau. Like, your mom was not a murderer. Heard the story. I'll be waiting at the hangar. If you post on that account, people are gonna figure out who you are. Now is not the time for that. Don't worry about nonsense. I can reply to this one. I got scalded. I'll try. Hidaka-kun forgave me. I'll be Hidaka-kun's legs. I have confidence in my stamina. Well, I can reply to a couple of them. Let's start with this one here. Landing soon. Did you get your account hacked? Looks like you grew up a bit, S-kun. Let's not be pedantic. Landing soon. And the other one... Let's see the real you. I'm glad you are feeling better. Or you quit being a wimp. Atta girl. Let's see the real you. Let's go with that. Alright. Mr. Candy-san carries Airi on his large back. Like, hi, Chuna! Like, long time no see! Chuna is there to greet us, waving a flashlight around wildly. She leads us into the hangar.
はあ、焦った。
茂みおじさん、すごかったね。
At least Akiho thinks that Kaito's dad is cool.
ちょっと無茶しすぎだったけどね。
Speaking of dad, he was the last to exit the plane. He's in front of it, bowing his head to the damaged frame as it rains.
アキホちゃん、ヤシオくん、無事でよかった。
It's like, I wasn't sure if we were actually going to see a sprite of Subaru with his crutches. But, proved me wrong.
おお、部長先輩と八潮先輩のなんという夫婦オーラ、爆発すべき。
二人とも生命力だけはしぶといですね。
Yes, we are. As well as you, Subaru. 3 of the former Robot Club members are together in the hangar. The cast on Subaru's leg is covered in mud from the rain.
みんな、
Akiho's expression is apologetic as she hesitantly looks at them. I give her a little push on the back, and she almost falls over. She now stands before Juna, Subaru, and Frau. Akiho looks each of them in the eyes before bowing her head deeply.
みんなごめんごめんね
Now Akiho's the one who's going to be apologetic.
ガンツ靴守れなかった壊されちゃったせっかくみんなで作ったのに本当にごめんうちあんなにわがまま言って東京にガンツ靴を連れてったのに
I'm sure they all understand.
部長、顔を上げてください。
みんなうちのことまだ部長って呼んでくれるの
I mean, Subaru is anyway.
もうロボ部はないんだよ
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter one bit. You'll always be Prez Senpai. At least the Subaru.
呼びたい私は部長って呼びたい私一度辞めちゃった身だけど呼んでもいいかな
As well as Juna.
部長先輩、マジ部長。
It's like, it's unanimous. Akiho will always be Prez Senpai.
そもそも僕はロボ部を辞めた覚えはありません。だから部長のことも部長のままです。
Good point. Good point, Subaru.
俺もアキちゃんのことは今でも部長だと思ってるよ
みんな
It's like, she's blushing and crying. Aww.
ありがとう
Now this just warms my heart. She wipes the tears from her eyes.
中種ロボ部部長瀬宮明穂ただいま戻りましたジャキーン
Akiho strangely poses as she makes her declaration.
では、現在の島の状況について説明します。
Well, I think this is a good place to stop for now. Things are certainly coming to a head now, especially now that Kaito and Akiho are back home and have reunited with everyone else, which is good. It's like they've been apart for far too long, and I'm so glad to see that everyone has, really has made a stand and is now front and center on getting Gun Build 1 up and ready to, fight Misane. And this is going to be interesting. Gun Build 1 facing off with its creator, Senomiya Mizaki. I do wonder how this is all going to go down with a robot and someone who's clearly human. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed watching, and thank you all for watching as well. And if you enjoyed the video and want to see more, like, favorite, and claw that subscribe button to become part of the pack. And as always, everyone, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, wherever you may be.